Hi, everyone, and happy Monday to you. This is Kimberly Beer here with Make It Happen Monday. One thing you can do this week to better market your business. And today we're going to be talking about creating calls to action, those wonderful little statements that help make our businesses money and our clients happy and get what they want. So we're going to be learning about how to ask for what you want to create a conversion. All right, let's dive in. So first, before we go there, we're going to be mindful marketers, and I want you to really shift your thinking on calls to action. For some reason, this little tiny thing in a marketing procedure tends to get some people stuck, and I've seen it happen with both my students and my clients. So let's stop for a moment, and instead of thinking of this as that we're asking for a sale, let's think of it as asking and are giving an opportunity to our customers to make a response. So shift from sale to opportunity, sale to opportunity. If you need to close your eyes and breathe and move from I am selling into I am giving opportunities, now would be a good time to do that. I realize that the opportunity may mean a sale for your business, but it is still a great opportunity for your customer. And if you start to think of your calls to action as offering your customer an opportunity to work with your business, then you are really going to make a shift from focusing so much on being salesy to creating opportunities for your target market and your business. So it is a win-win situation. If you are still struggling with creating calls to action or sales in general, it might be a time to take a few minutes and really sit with your business and your confidence and how much you believe internally that your business is really making a difference for your customers, whether you're selling a product or whether you're offering a service or whether you are providing a nonprofit. Maybe do some meditation or some thinking around the thought of what it is that you do that truly benefits your customers. And you'll see as you shift that mindset a little bit, sales becomes easier because you are able to see what you're doing that's benefiting your customers. Okay, so now let's dive into the technical part of things. What defines a good CTA or call to action? So you're going to hear that acronym a lot out there in the world, so we're going to get used to it here. So CTA is call to action. So when you're writing these or when you're thinking about them, what I want you to do is I want you to think about the next best step for your customer combined with the next best action your business can do to assist them in that step. Now, for a service-oriented business, a lot of times this is going to be a call or an appointment or a meeting of some type. For a product-oriented business, it might be a sale. For a nonprofit, it might be a download of a PDF to get more information, or it could be providing a donation that helps that person on their taxes, that helps them support their mission in life. And for someone using a nonprofit, of course, it could mean a huge benefit for them in that area as well. All right, so where do you put the CTA when you put it onto your online, your social, your print? So specifically in print, your call to action needs to be clearly worded, easy to read and do. Those of you who have super complicated website addresses, don't complicate it further by putting that www in there. So make sure that it's easy to read and easy to do. The less complicated you make it visually, the more likely people are to actually take the action. You also need to make it bold, and ideally it should be the second most obvious thing on a printed page. So the first most obvious thing is generally whatever the flyer, brochure, business card, postcard is about, but the call to action should ideally be the second most obvious thing. It doesn't always work out that way in the wash, but shoot for that when you're going in your design work. On your website, your call to action should be clearly worded, highlighted, and clickable or presented in a form. So if your call to action is for them to contact you, then your contact form should be pretty clear to find. It should be either under a button that says contact me now or contact us or contact, or it should be gone ahead and put inside the page so that they can get to it with as few clicks as possible. Anytime you're working with a call to action, the less action that your customer has to take to complete the call means that they're more likely to do it. In other words, every time they have to click, every time they have to take a step in the real physical world, you're more likely to lose that person from actually completing the call to action. So make it as few steps as possible. And we're going to get into the number of calls to action that you need to have a little bit later. But I'm going to plant a bug in your ear here. On your website, you really should have one and no more than two calls to action. Wow, that probably some of you are going, I can't do that. I have to have multiple ones. But I'll talk more about that in a moment. So on social, it should be clearly worded and clickable. So even in a Facebook ad, or even in a, not even in an ad, even in a Facebook post, you should have a call to action. Maybe your post is about, hey, look at this wonderful testimonial that I got from a client. Want to have the same experience? Click here, and it goes to your website or somewhere where they can get more information. Or, like I said, the fewest clicks possible to complete the call to action. So is there a way that you could put a link directly to your contact form inside of that social post? So one click, they're there, fill out the form, press send, and you have the completed action on your end. In a marketing email, the call to action should be clearly worded and clickable, must be clickable in an email. Remember, in websites, social, and email, those clicks oftentimes translate into a report, but it should also be bright, bold, and in a button. So now let's look at some examples of call to actions that are actually written out. So on a printed piece of material, we might have something like call a phone number to get started or visit our website. And again, don't put that www in there. You no longer really need it. And honestly, most people search for your website.com because it just is easier. So you don't need to complicate things. I like to uppercase the initial letters, especially in those of you who have website addresses where you have multiple letters that repeat right next to each other, like 3 S's in a row, because one word ends in an S, then maybe you have an initial S, and then the next is a cap S. So if you have that type of an address that gets a little bit sketchy for people to type out, capping the letters makes it a little bit easier for them to read and remember. And that's what a goal to a call to action, to making it easy, really is all about. If you have the fill out this form, put the form below it. The register now is an example of a button that you could click on. Then we have a couple of download and join statements here. Download the PDF Guide to Success. Hey, wouldn't we all like to find that one? And join our VIP list for an amazing offer. You might want to determine or define for people what the offer is or what success is in this particular case, what at least this PDF is going to help you get success with. So these are examples of how you would write your call to action. Now, the reason I said we want to make all of these things clickable is because the beauty is in the reports. When you have reports, you're able to go back and look at the analytics and see, what are people clicking on? What did they resonate with? What did they take an action with? And you can kind of correlate that with the end action of where they finally ended up in your business. For most of you, you're small enough businesses that you have a really personal relationship with every person that comes into your business. So you can take a look and see how that person made the steps to get where they are in your sales process or into your customer base. So website, social media, email, all provide metrics. Email has amazing metrics that are involved with it to show you what people clicked on and what they're most likely to resonate with again. So watch those things as they build on each other, and you're able to get an idea of what works better than other things. Now, if you want to shorten your links for social media in particular and get some reports back, you can use bit.ly.com, and you can even customize the links here. So this particular report happens to be from my YouTube subscribe. There was a point in time when YouTube had a little bit of a complicated way to subscribe to a person's channel. And so I made a bit.ly link that went straight to my subscription page and really prompted people to subscribe, because it's not a common action for everyone on YouTube to take. So the bit.ly link was something like bit.ly/Kim Beer YouTube subscribe. It was something I could remember. It was something they could remember. It was something that was relatively easy for me to type out. I have another one that is for my 30-minute meetings. It is bit.ly 30 minutes with Kim. And because I can remember that, I don't need to keep going back to my scheduling software to try to get that link over and over and over again. So memory wise, it helps me. But on the other end of things, I get to see a report of where those clicks came from. So you can see on here that I've used this link quite a bit on Facebook. I've actually had 63 people click on it from Facebook, and then 15 from emails, SMS, or direct link clicks. But that's pretty awesome. Now I know that my Facebook marketing, when I'm getting people over into my YouTube channel, probably not making Facebook happy there, but oh well. But when I'm getting people off of Facebook to my YouTube channel, it's working. This particular link is working. So those reports can mean a lot. And bit.ly offers you the report of where people are clicking on the link that you've shortened in bit.ly right inside your bit.ly account. And bit.ly has a free version. So don't let that stop you from running over to bit.ly.com and learning how to shorten those links. All right, how many CTAs? Now I'm going to ask you, take a guess. How many calls to action do you think you should have in any given marketing piece? One. That's right, one. Even on your website, one. So the more you are able to hone this, the more you are able to sort of get everything herded into one call to action, the more successful that call to action will be. The more calls to action you add to anything, the more watered down the result is going to be. So make sure that if you can't keep it to one, and I realize that's hard, I don't even follow that rule all the time, but if you can't keep it to one, do keep it to as few as possible. Try not to give people too many choices in your calls to action. So why is this important? Okay, for those of you who've been to my Constant Contact classes, you've heard me talk about this before, but for those of you who haven't, and I feel like the story bears repeating anyway, Constant Contact did a study a few years ago, it's been actually quite a while ago, where they sent out an email with a florist, and in the email, they A/B tested it. So they just sort of split the audience in half. Half the audience got an email that had a singular bouquet offered for Mother's Day or Valentine's Day, whatever holiday it was. And then the other half of the audience or the recipients got an email that offered 6 choices for those bouquets for whatever holiday it was. The one with the single bouquet outsold the one with the 6 options by 3-1. Now, that is so important for us to understand. People suffer from choice paralysis. It is really, really a real problem. So when you are thinking about creating a marketing piece, the more calls to action you offer because you're trying to either appeal to more people, don't do that, clarify your message to a very targeted audience, or because you're worried you're going to leave somebody out, you're not. Trust me, the message will get through to the person it needs to get through to. Or you just feel like you have so many options that you need to offer more things to because there's so much to choose from. Stop, go back, and create more marketing materials that are probably more targeted so they can have a singular call to action. So I hope that makes sense. At the bottom line of this is just keep those calls to action down to as few as possible. And if you can get it down to one, give yourself a big congratulations with whatever you want. Take yourself out to dinner, go have a beer, I don't know, jump around your office and have a good time. But keep it down to as few as possible. Thank you for tuning in with me today, and have a great week, and I'll see you next Monday.